Hi, my name is Alexander Perez, and I will be introducing my speech about Banksy. Throughout most of the modern era of society, graffiti has been considered as trash and worthless art, although many street artists pour their heart and souls into their paintings. Banksy set out and challenged the standard for graffiti artists everywhere. He started off on the streets of Bristol, and then he rose to national and worldwide prestige through his thought-provoking artwork. He now uses his platform to promote his political messages about wealth and societal inequality. First, I will discuss Banksy's artworks, then I will discuss his political messages and activism. Starting off with his work, he originated as a graffiti artist in the early 1990s on the streets of Bristol. He then switched to stencil art because his main art was freehand art. He got inspiration from many other artists and he used the rat as his most famous stencil. Later on, he started getting famous and he opened up his first art exhibit in London in 2004. This is where he and a bunch of other graffiti artists painted a tunnel white, and there was over 500 visitors for his first artist event. Then he had his breakthrough with his exhibit called Turf War. He painted animals such as pigs to represent police officers, and he even painted the most controversial one there was Queen Elizabeth II as a chimpanzee. Later on, Banksy started going to Palestine and Israel to paint along the West Bank wall to promote his anti-war messages. Later on, he moved to his more matured work and he started getting his work into museums and such. He first began his exhibit Barely Legal in Los Angeles, where he painted an entire elephant in stripes and attracted celebrities, which allowed him to rise up with more fame. In 2009, Banksy opened his Banksy versus Bristol Museum exhibit. It attracted over 300,000 visitors, and over 100 of his artworks were displayed. In 2014, he then returned back to Palestine and Israel to keep painting about his anti-war messages. He created artwork on rubble to represent the blown up and destroyed houses caused by Operation Protective Edge, which was launched by Israel onto Palestine. He then, in the most recent times, he then pulled off his greatest stunt by shredding a painting of his, which was going for £1 billion. It was known as the Balloon Girl painting. Basically, his stunt went, as soon as they hit the gavel, they went on, and then the painting passed through a shredder, and that caused it to almost triple in price after the shredding. Banksy's artwork cemented his legacy and influence an out-of-the-box guerrilla artist. However, what truly gave him his legacy was his political activism and spreading his ideas. I will now go through some of the causes that Banksy supports the most. The first one being anti-consumerism. Anti-consumerism is supposed to mean to be opposed to the idea that people should be allowed to buy an unlimited amount of goods. So he made artwork such as Slave Labor in 2012 to depict the machine that sweatshops use to exploit and abuse children. He tries to show the dark and inhumane conditions that the sweatshops have and shows what it really takes when we create stuff for less than nothing. Disneyland, which was a take on Disney World, he tried to show the reality of a money-driven world. Instead of looking at the bright side of things, he made a really grim and desolate place, including stuff as a broken down mermaid. And at the UN, when the UN held the Climate Council in 2016, he painted a wall and that was being covered with flooding water and says, "I don't believe in global warming." He also went to the London Zoo and painted messages about animals being held in captivity as he broke in and started spray painting the exhibits. In conclusion, Banksy's art and messages have stayed consistent throughout most of his career, always striving for and pushing his humble street art beginnings and not letting his flame change his platform. In conclusion, Banksy's meaningful stencil art has turned him into a 21st century art staple. With powerful messages about multi-million-dollar companies, the anonymous street artist has gained many accolades and is praised worldwide. However, Banksy does not fret and as he continues to create artwork to this day. That's been my speech on Banksy. Thank you.